What's up, people? What's going on with y'all? I hope that you all had a wonderful day today. Yes, I am coming to you after hours, after work, honey. Yes. I just had a message on my heart, and I really didn't want to wait for the morning time to bring it to you, because when I feel it in my spirit, I just want to bring it to y'all. And I just wanted to say, I'm going to start off like this. Every single thing that I've ever wanted in my life, I've had to depend on God for and have faith in God for. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take it from the beginning. All right. When I needed a job, I went through a whole situation where I didn't know where my next job was going to come from, but I knew that that job that I was at wasn't working for me. So I prayed to God. I said, Lord, help me figure out what I need to do. I don't know what to do. I hate this job. I don't want to be here anymore. What am I going to do? And the Lord spoke, and I kid you not. And it went like this. You say you have faith in me. You say that you believe in my word. You say that you believe in me. Quit your job. I didn't have a plan B. I didn't have any extra moves. I had bills to pay, a car note. I had, credit cards. I had bills. But God told me to quit. And I knew that it was going to be difficult. I just didn't know how difficult. But I knew that if I was going to jump out on faith, that this was going to be a test for me. I quit that job, and prior to that, I had been praying to God to help me with my debt. Like I didn't want to be in debt anymore. I had been sick, so I accumulated a lot of hospital bills, and I had a high car note because I had purchased previous cars before that car, and I was upside down on all those vehicles. So every time I would get a new car, that remaining balance would basically be tacked on to that car. So it made my car note high, okay, and the insurance and everything else. So I had a lot going on. I had credit cards and everything, and I was trying my best to stay afloat, and for the most part I was. But once I lost that job, it was like, okay, now what? You don't have anything. So, and I was praying to God, like, I want to be out of debt. I want a new job. I knew that I wanted to become a teacher, but prior to that point, like, it just didn't seem like it was happening for me. It seemed like I had all kind of obstacles, and that'll be a video for a different day, how I became a teacher. But at that particular point in my life, I just knew I couldn't stay where I was. I just couldn't. I was so unhappy. I was miserable. I was showing up to work crying in the parking lot just before I even went into work. And then to have to actually get through the shift, well, that was a different story. So I quit. And let me tell you what happened once I quit. My mother, I had to move back home with my mother. My mother, she was working, and she didn't want me to lose my car, so she was helping me. She was making my car payments for me, but they were high. And she would come to me and say, baby, I'm being drained. Like, I don't have any more money. I'm trying my best to help you, but I don't think I'm going to be able to keep doing this. And I understood, and it hurt me to the core, because, I knew it was her last. And I really didn't want this situation of me quitting to be a burden on her. So having to deal with that, and then I just couldn't afford my bills anymore. And in the midst of that situation, my boyfriend at the time and I moved to Savannah. That's a whole nother story for a different day, baby. Yeah, I got videos for you. I got some videos for you, okay? That's a whole other story. moved down to Savannah with my boyfriend at the time. Okay? And he had gotten a job. Okay? We moved into this small 1-bedroom apartment. We made it work. I had furniture from when I had my own apartment. So that's the furniture that we moved to this apartment. That's how that worked. It just worked out that way. And a year went by. I was depressed. I was stressed. I was gaining weight. I was miserable. Felt like I didn't have a purpose. Felt like, oh my God, Lord, I'm dependent on you, and no, I'm not about to go work at no Burger King because I have a master's degree. And shout out to everyone that's a fast food worker. I'm not putting anybody down, but as for me, I just believed in God for more than that. Not saying anything's wrong with it, but for me, personally, myself, I just wanted more for me. And some people were saying, oh, well, you need to humble yourself and all that. No, I believe in more than that. I believe God for more than that. He said, to seek ye first the kingdom of God and all of his glory. And I, Lord, forgive me if I'm messing up the words. But seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these blessings will be added unto you. And so I would go to God in prayer. I would go to God in frustration. Go to God in doubt. Go to God in worry. Go to God in fear. All of that. Because I'm like, Lord, now look now. You told me this is exactly how I would pray. Because I pray to God. I just have a conversation with him. I don't be doing all the these and the thous and you shall and you shouldn't and all this other crap. I don't do all that. I talk to God in my own way. So I said, Lord, I'm believing in you to do this for me. I quit my job because I'm believing in you. I quit my job because I know that you have something better for me. I'm believing in you and trusting in you and your word that you're going to come through for me. I've seen you do it. Before that time, with the whole job situation, I was trying to become a teacher. And in order for me to become a teacher, I had to pass the GACE. And the first part of the GACE, I passed easily. Let me turn this light on. I passed easily with the GACE. The second part, I didn't pass so easily. It took me, I took the test, failed. Paid $180 again, took the test, failed. Paid another $180 again, took the test, failed. And each time I'm going, Lord, though you slay me, yet will I trust you. Because I knew this is what I wanted to do, and I had to fight my way through it. I felt that way. I felt like it was a test because I felt like I knew the information. I knew the information. So I felt like at some point it just be, and during that time I was heavily in my Bible and I was reading the book of Job and how God allowed the serpent to test Job to see if he would curse God. So he would do things, take things away, kill all his animals and take his family away and all that. But Job trusted God. He believed in God. And he said to God, Lord, though you have me going through all this stuff, and I don't know why you have such a heavy eye on me, or what it is about me where this is happening to me, but I'm gonna trust you anyway. And so I got that mentality that I'm gonna trust you anyway. The very next time I took that test, I passed it, and when I tell you, I couldn't help but to drop down to my knees and thank God, because I knew it was nobody but him. I knew it was nobody but the Lord. I knew without a shadow of a doubt. And it made my knees buckle. I know he's real. Can't nobody tell me that God is not real. I know it for myself. And so, getting back to this story, I was depressed. I didn't have any income coming in, but my boyfriend at the time, his job, he was making enough money to support us. He was paying the rent. You know, my mama was still sending, you know, what she could to help me, you know, have a little gas money or something, you know. And she was very encouraging and understanding and supportive that whole time. And so was my boyfriend. He never made me feel bad for not having a job. He never, you know, was on me to get a job, you know, because my job, he knew that I woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning to get on the computer, to fill out applications until lunchtime. I would take a break, eat some lunch. I would go right back to filling out applications. That was my job. And then whatever job that I was trying to apply for, I would look up interview questions that they would ask me, and I would go ahead on and answer those interview questions so that I could train myself, so that when they asked me the question, if I got into the interview, then I could do it. I could say it, and I don't have to be stumbling over my words. I would know what I want to say. Because interviewers have a certain set of questions, and most of them ask some of the same kind of questions. So I want to prepare myself. So I was preparing myself for the job that I wanted. I was preparing myself for the job that I wanted. I couldn't be a teacher at that time because there were other things that needed to happen. I had passed the gates, but there was another part to that I had to take care of. I had to get into a teacher certification program. I had to get into a teacher certification program, and I had not done so yet. So passing the gates was just a part of it, but it wasn't the whole part. You feel me? Because I had a bachelor's degree, but it was in criminal justice. So I had to kind of come through the back door with teaching, right? All right. So I wasn't in a certification program. So I decided that I wanted to be, you know, doing office work. I knew I didn't want to be on my feet no more, because prior to, during the summer, when I was off during the summer from college, I would work at a Dollar Tree or wherever, and my feet would be burning. And that last place, when I had finally quit, I was up on my feet, and I told myself, I am not working on my feet like this. I can't. It took after you work on standing up on your feet for so long, your body starts to do things. Age quickly, it seems. My knees were hurting all the time. My back was hurting all the time. And I was too young to be aching like that. Too young. So I felt like it was breaking my body down, having to stand up like that. So, anyway, I figured that I wanted to do something in administration. And I would go on these interviews, felt like I had a great interview. They wouldn't call back. Go to another interview, dress the part, had on a nice suit, hair is nicely situated, you know, no wild nails or anything like that, just very, you know, professional. Felt real good about every interview that I did. Wouldn't get the job. And I was so stressed about it until one day, I had an interview, and I drove up. It was at a university. I drove up, and I pulled up in the parking lot. I said, you know what? It is what it is. Lord, it's in your hands. I'm not going to stress about it. I'm going to go ahead and do this interview, and I ain't going to worry about it. Pulled up, got out the car. I did my interview. Felt real good about it. Got home. Next day, got a call. They want you. Hello. At a university. Working with students. Working with I'm in the field of education, and I learned so much at that job that prepared me for the job that I have now as a teacher. It all connects, but it took me a year. And let's not forget, I ended up with a seasonal job prior to getting that job, working at Things Remembered at the mall, up on my feet again. I don't know if it was God's way of saying, be humble, because this is where you could be, but this is where I got you now. But guess where I'm about to take you? I'm about to take you somewhere. This is just temporary. I want to see how you gonna do with this temporary situation. If this is what I gave you, are you gonna be happy with that? I wasn't happy, but I said, you know what? It's better than nothing. So I'm gonna work at Things Remember. Did a whole Christmas season of Things Remember. After the Christmas season was over with, that was over with. About 4 months later, I ended up with that job. Everything that I wanted, that's just a bit in pieces. And also during that year of not having a job, because I know what you're dealing with. If you're one of those people out there that's looking for a job and don't know what to do, and bills are due, and you don't have a choice, you don't know what to do, and all that. I get it. I feel you. I was going through it. I was believing in God and trusting in God, but I was going through it, baby. Through it. Praying my way through it. Sleepless nights. I filed for bankruptcy and surrendered my car because I could not keep up with the payments, and the bills kept coming and there was no money. The money stopped, but the bills didn't. Okay? The money stopped, but the bills didn't stop. And them creditors, they didn't want to hear, oh, you have a financial hardship. They didn't want to hear that. They want their money. So I had to file for bankruptcy. So I filed for chapter 7 bankruptcy, I believe. It was either chapter 7 or chapter 14. I can't remember, because that was a while ago. So I filed for bankruptcy to get that off of me. Didn't they say be careful what you pray for? Because I asked God to get me out of debt. He did. No debt, including the car. No debt, no car, but my boyfriend just so happened to have 2 cars at that time. He had a truck and a Crown Vic. So he would let me take the truck to get to my interviews or back home to Atlanta if I needed a break from down here being in Savannah, because this was a culture shock for me. And so he would drive the Crown Vic. So everything that I ever needed, and this is God. This is God. Everything that I needed, he provided. It didn't look like what I wanted it to look like. It didn't feel like how I wanted it to feel like. But I had everything I needed. My mama was giving me a little something from time to time for gas and be able to get home to come see her. My boyfriend paid the rent and most of the bills. He gave me his truck to get around from point A to point B. He gave me the know-how to be professional and get my resume together and work on myself to be the person, and to feed me what I needed to be fed in terms of preparing yourself for the part. He gave me everything. I had everything I needed. And I trusted God. And he showed up and showed out in a mighty way. The next video that I'm going to do is probably going to be tomorrow morning, and I'm going to talk to you all about how I actually became a teacher from the journey of working at this university. So I'm going to bring you up to that part. But tonight's message is simply, you have to trust God. You have to be patient. And the hardest thing of it all is not your time, it's God's time. I'm trying to conceive a baby right now with me and my now husband. He was my boyfriend then, he's my husband now. That's a whole other story too. But praying to God for this baby. And that's the one thing I have to keep remembering. Now he's blessed me before. I've trusted him and I believed in him, and he has blessed me before. Why wouldn't he do it for me now? My issue is, and somehow I'm still going to be having to work on, is understanding it's not my time, it's God's time, and being patient and waiting on the Lord. I hope you received that message tonight. I have plenty of videos that I'm going to do for you all. Really is a connection here. I want to connect with y'all because I know y'all are going through it. I know you have questions. I know, and no, I don't have all the answers. All I can do is share my experiences with you, and hopefully that you can see yourself in that story, or even if it's just the message in itself that you just need to hear for yourself, then I'm going to let God use me as the vessel, and I'm going to keep it all the way real with you. I may not always say the right things. It may not always come out the right way. And a curse word or two might come out. But know that I mean well. Okay? But tune in to me tomorrow. And I'll get right back with you guys. Have a lovely night. I'll see you tomorrow on Rise and Grind. Bye.